The next night, I was able to connect with my buddy number one, and we had a lovely evening together. We both were running late that particular day, so we didn't have as much time as we would have liked to have spent together. So we knew we were going to see each other again, though, during the week, and so it kind of was nice. It kind of took the pressure off of it having to be, gosh, we don't get to see each other very often, and now we have this one night together, because sometimes that's how it can be. But this, we knew we would have another night together, and so it was just it was a loving, caring, sensual, touching time. And again, I think it was nice because I didn't feel like I could feel that way, and then all of a sudden being open and receptive to it felt wonderful and amazing, and again continued to fuel that fire. So we had an amazing, lovely, comfortable, soft and gentle and loving time together, and it was beautiful. So that was the next night, and then the next night was my night with my Denver playmate.
Mm-hmm.
So my Denver playmate happens to be someone that we met at another event,
Mm-hmm.
who is well versed in being with hotwives.
Very well stated.
Thank you. That's my politically correct way of saying what?
What?
That he is a...
Oh, he's a professional.
He's a bull. Now, I did not meet him in that capacity, in the sense of we were not necessarily looking for a bull. We just happened to be in an event that there were some of these folks that were there, and he was there.
He's an incredibly engaging, wonderful man, and we had such a great time talking to him.
Yeah, when we met him that very first time.
Yeah, the very first night at the meet and greet. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you met him.
Yeah,
all four of us met him. Yeah, we all four met him, and just a super engaging guy, gregarious and funny, and he's
one of those people that like you, who just have this gravitational pull, and he's like you. Just the sort of person that you just want to be around and you want to talk to.
Yeah, he does. He's very, very comfortable. It's very, very comfortable to be around him, and
because he makes you engaging. He makes you feel comfortable.
Yeah, and asks questions, and is interested in what you say, and some of those lost art of communication skills, like, oh, he looks at me when I talk to him. What an odd thing to have happen. Or he's actually asked me questions about something that I say, which means he's listening. So how nice is that? But it also does help, and I've said this before, I've had experiences where I may have an opportunity to play with men that aren't as well versed in the lifestyle, or aren't as used to being with many partners, or aren't used to navigating those waters. And that can be challenging if you're not used to it. Well, I will tell you, he walked in the door and it was like I'd seen him yesterday. And we picked up where we left off, and we just started talking, and it was just that the connection was still there, but it was so easy and so nice, and he also knew that I was having some issues going on. I didn't quite go into depth with him about it, but it was just like it was I couldn't have planned a better thing. So meeting up with him was amazing. Yeah. You can't beat chemistry when it all clicks.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a really fucking hot time. It was great. And I had asked him, originally we had actually even talked about him staying the night. And I said, listen, I would love for you to stay the night, but I have the most important thing that I'm here for this conference for is for me tomorrow morning. Was at really early in the morning, and I knew I had to get up, and I was afraid if he stayed that we would wake up having sex many times, and I would not be on my game on Thursday. So I said, I would love to have you, but I can't. You cannot spend the night. So he showed up, and we got done playing. We were taking a little break, and I'm like, you know, you could kind of stay because you were a little tired. And we took a little snooze, and he said, I didn't bring any clothes. He told me I couldn't stay, and he said I didn't. He said I almost thought about throwing a suitcase. I thought about throwing a suitcase in the car, but I didn't. I was like, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. It was me being weak and greedy and horny, and my pussy was on fire because I had had all this sex. And so I wanted to kind of, so anyway, so all of the emotional piece to it, and then meeting up with him and having this experience where someone who I've been with before and have met before and is well versed in a woman's body, and it was kind of like the cherry on the cake but it was so fascinating having time with him because we've spent time with him before and you were there as part of the fun time. And so this time it was just the two of us, and it felt different. It was a different dynamic, and I really enjoyed it. It was private. I said to you when I got home, I felt like it was a moment for us. Whereas a lot of times in these, when you're doing hot wife stuff, it's very common. I love for Tristan to come in and watch and sit, and sometimes he's invited to participate, and then that means I get to be with two gentlemen. So I really enjoy that atmosphere also, and that's how we had met number 3. And so in my mind, that's kind of how the evening would go. Like it was going to be much more of a very powerful, like it was before, and it wasn't. It was very soft and sensual, and which made it even more magical because I was expecting more of a not a wham bam thank you ma'am, but that's in my mind, that's what I'm thinking, but that's not what I'm meaning. But you know what I'm saying, just something way more physical and powerful. Get in there and fuck like crazy and then see you in a few weeks. And I would have been okay with that, but not always. But it was lovely that it wasn't, because it's way more my style to have those sensual type interactions that we did. So we did, and again, that wasn't planned or talked about, or just is what happened, and it was amazing and wonderful. And so I wanted to kind of come on, and I said to Tristan, I would really like to record and talk about my adventure in the sense of, without getting too much into the nitty gritty, because that's not what it's about. It's about the fact that I was able to kind of accidentally reignite that fire a little bit. And it felt amazing and wonderful. And all those stressors and all those things are still there. And they're still here when I got home. And then you're catching up with work when you're gone for a week. And you have to, there's a lot of pressure that comes with that. And nothing changed, when I got home. Family stuff and my mom stuff, all that stuff is still here. But it was like you could see the light in the distance. It was so refreshing and so wonderful. And I'm not so sure that it was just the perfect timing of everything to happen. It was, and I don't mean it in an ugly way, honey, but it was great that you actually weren't there, because none of this would have happened if you were there. It's just, we wouldn't have been in that dynamic. We wouldn't have been in that mindset. We wouldn't have been, and sometimes Tristan travels with me when I travel. And so, it worked out really well in the sense of it allowed me to tap into something that I'd kind of forgotten that was really even there.
Yeah. No, I totally agree.
Yeah. So I wanted to kind of talk about that because it was so unexpected, so organic. And Tristan and I were talking about when I got home, like literally on the drive home. And I said, I was very excited about the fact that this had all happened. And I felt human again. I felt like a woman again. Not that you and Phoenix don't make me feel that way. You guys do, but it's, what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You guys love me. And so I can come out with hair all over the place and no makeup on and whatever. And you guys will both say, you're beautiful. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I get it. But it was nice to actually be beautiful and feel beautiful to someone who doesn't normally see me that way or normally see me at all. I mean, obviously I'm hoping they think that I am, but it was just so welcome and so wonderful and so unexpected. And when we were coming home and you said something about, having all of these experiences, and I said, this was not supposed to happen. I had made arrangements to meet my one friend and knew that there was a possibility that maybe I would see number 3 because he lived there, but hadn't really set aside, I had set aside the day, but I was really not planning on touching base with him at all. And then for it to happen where I was able to connect with 3 amazing men, all organically, all just happened to fall into place, and fell into place like, well, gee, I only have, I'm here. I'm here too. Oh, okay. Well, then, holy shit, then let's connect. And so, so I said to you that I don't know if you go back and listen to the first Hotwife episodes where I kind of turned that switch on, which are episodes, 18, 19, and 21 or something like that?
18, 20, and 21.
18, 20, and 21. You'll hear that I did a lot of work. There was a lot of work that went into meeting the men that I wanted to meet. And so I went on coffee dates with everybody first, and then I decided if there was going to be time that I could play. So there was a lot of energy and time and thought and commitment that went into it. And I said to Tristan that if I had to do that, like if I'd changed my profile on SDC and said, hey, I'm going to be, in Colorado for a week, and tried to connect with people, I had no bandwidth to do that, and I had no mental capacity to do that, and I had no energy to do that. First of all, I was not in a place that I could do that. I was busy the entire time. So I knew none of that was going to happen. So I had pretty much not worried about it. I'm just like, oh, whatever, it'll be what it is. And I'll be able to see my one amazing friend who I adore and love seeing when I'm able to see him. And even if to see him once would have been great. We actually ended up seeing each other twice. So it was fantastic the way that it happened for me, because that is how I love for things to happen. And when things happen that way, that's when I open my eyes and I say, ooh, stuff is falling. Like, this is stuff when things fall into place really, really easily, it's like, don't lift that gift horse in the mouth. So it was phenomenal. And it was exactly what I needed to come home and feel a little bit refreshed. I felt like the clouds have lifted a little bit, not all the way. And there's still other stuff that's going on. I'm still trying to figure out what's going on with my body, and looking into figuring out what all that's going to do and how that's going to be. But it certainly was a great stride forward, feeling that at least I still have that desire in me when that switch is turned on.
Right. So much so that you texted me in the middle of the week and said, hey, is there anything going on this weekend? Any parties going on? What's happening at Caliente? And we wound up going to Caliente that Saturday night. And so
yeah,
I could tell the difference in you even midweek just through texting. And when I picked you up at the airport, I could tell that you had been refreshed, and that the same stuff's still here, but you I think had a glimpse of, okay, this is going to turn around,
right?
And here was a little refreshing glimpse of where you can be going.